Hey everybody, so I'm just setting things up over here. Welcome back to class. Not sure which class it is. 2, 3, 5, and 6, whichever one. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is what we're going to be doing in class. Now, again, I want you to just watch me. Okay, I just want you to watch me and just kind of look and see what we're going to be doing. Later on, if you want to use this as sort of like a guide to what to do, you can as well. But I kind of like to do things together. There's some students, like my period 5 class, that are independent, more independent study. You can obviously use this video to kind of show you or guide you to what needs to be turned in. All right, without further ado, first of all, what I'd like you to do is go into your graphics, whichever period you have me. Okay, and then ultimately you will see Unit 11 selection tools. Okay, and the purpose of the study is using the Marquee tool with images. All right, so the first thing I'd like for you to do is go ahead, and I'm going to actually stop this right here. So I'm going to edit, and I'll show you why. I wanted originally for you to create a folder called Unit 11, but instead create a folder structure. Okay, so it would be in your downloads, create a Photoshop, and there is going to be I thought about having you create the Unit 11 folder, but that's not really necessary. So I'm just going to have you in your downloads folder create Photoshop, and this is what I'm going to ask you to do. So if you're using a Mac, and by the way, Chromebook users, you're using the Mac. You are not to use the Chromebook for any other reason other than to connect to the iMacs through Splashtop. And so you are Mac users. Okay, so Windows users, you have your own little machines there. I'm not sure exactly the structure, what it might involve, but you sure could figure it out. And if you have any problems, you let me know. We'll try to figure it out together. Okay, but as you can see from the downloads folder, this is the Finder, by the way. So for Windows, it could be the Explorer. So this is the downloads, and this is Photoshop, and that's what I want you to click on. You may or may not have folders in there. It doesn't matter at this point, but basically I think it'd be best interest, just so it's easier, go ahead and just use downloads and store your Photoshop folder in there. Alright, moving this aside, now as you can see, the next thing I say is download the following zip file. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. When you click on this, okay, and by the way, you can also click here, but this you should right click and open a new tab. Either way, click here, okay, and you'll get this window right here ultimately, and you don't have to wait for this. As long as you see this icon right here, this down into the I guess it just says a download icon, go ahead and click. Alright, and then let it click, and you'll eventually see the progress on the lower left if you're using a Mac. If you're using a Windows, you might have another progress. So, but either way, in your downloads folder, you'll see that I have Photoshop, and there is my Unit 11. Now, for the Windows user, you may want to right click and press unzip. I'm not sure exactly how, but somehow, some way you can unzip it. And then for the Mac users, all you got to do is double click. Okay, so let me get out these notes over here so you can kind of see. Okay, to unzip, double click on the zip file. Okay, and so let me just move it over, and you'll see that it's called Unit 11 zip. Well, guess what? That's going to be the folder that everything is stored in. So I'm going to double click, and you'll notice there it is, Unit 11. So I'm just going to drag this in. There it is, and there it is, and there are my images. I've got a flower, I've got kittens, I've got musicians, whoever they may be. I know this is Taylor Swift. I've got an NFL, and I've got puppies. Alright, at this point, go ahead and stop your this video, and please open up Photoshop. Alright, so here we are in Photoshop, and there's several ways that you can actually open up the files. And again, if I brought in my Finder, I need to bring in all these. Now, this is the simplest way to bring in. You can select all the files. Okay, so you notice how I move the cursor below the last file and just drag up, and there it is. Or what I can do is the following. I can press and hold the shift, press the first file, press and hold the shift key, okay, and then press the last file. Everything is selected. So let me write that down to select all. Or, there's another way. You can also put the cursor here, tap below, and press Command A, and it's all selected. So let me write this down to select all files. You can drag the cursor up from below the files, okay, on up. Okay, so that's when I did this. Zoop, there it is, by pressing and holding the mouse. Or I can press the first or last file, okay, press and hold shift, and then press and hold or I'm sorry, let's say select. Let's go ahead and select, and then select. Basically what you're doing is this again. So let me select the first or last file, press and hold shift, then press and hold the last file again. So first or last file. So again, what I'm saying is, let me go here. So here's the last file, press and hold shift, boom. And if I want to press the first file, press and hold shift, and boom. And finally, probably the easiest way to do this is press Command A for Mac users. I think is it's Control A. Okay, for Windows user. Okay. Whichever way you're going to do, once you have it all selected, right click, open with Photoshop. Okay, and I have the latest and greatest Photoshop. Let me go and bring this over again. Open with, I have Photoshop 21. If you have Photoshop 2020, that's great. In fact, I'm just going to choose my latest. You choose whatever you have on your computer. So notice the computer there are everything that's appearing now. So as you can see on the very top, you've got the flowers, you've got the kittens, you've got this, and you've got that, and you've got that. Okay, pretty cool, I'd say. Let's go ahead, and what I'd like you to do now is create a new canvas. Okay, File, New, and let's go ahead and choose 1000 by 1000 pixels. It should be the last one, so 1000 pixels. Be sure that it's RGB, resolution 72 pixels per inch, RGB, 8-bit, white background. Alright, pretty cool. And let's create it. So now we got this puppy here. Make sure that you have your layers. I don't see my layers, so I'm going to go to Window, go down to Layers, and there it is right there. Oftentimes it just doesn't appear. So I've got my layers and I've got my history. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Marquee tool to put in different circles of these faces here. So let's go ahead and do this. It's really simple. Remember, we already had this scenario. I'm going to open up. Let's see if I still have it. Let's see, open up Cloud Documents. Remember this little puppy here, right here? Okay, well, we're going to do the same thing, except this time we are going to put images in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. I'm going to click on the first layer, which is way down here. So click on a new layer, and it doesn't have to be this far down. I can move this up a little bit. I can click here. Now watch first and then do. Let's start with a flower. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure I have the Marquee tool selected. Okay, and then make sure it's the elliptical tool. Well, using the perfect circle, that means I hold shift, and I drag down. Okay, there it is right there. And I'm going to Control C, copy, or edit copy, or Command C, as you can see right there, Command C. It would be better if you Command C, but whichever works for you. Command C. Then I'm going to go to my empty canvas and I'm going to Command V, paste, or edit paste. Look at that, there it is right there. And I can now use Control T to kind of make it bigger. Okay, and then I'm going to move it to the upper left. There we have it. Okay, pretty awesome. So now so let me go ahead and here's the steps. Alright, so the steps you want to follow is 1. Okay, first of all, okay, select an image using the circular Marquee tool. Select it or copy it using Command or Control C, depending on which machine you're having. Alright, or you can do edit copy using the menu, and then go to the new canvas, and then finally create a new layer. Always create a new layer, and then what you're going to do is edit paste, or you can Command Control P. There you have it. Okay, so this is the structure you're going to be using. Oops, wants to print. Don't want it to print. So this is it right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead, and what I'd like you to do is copy. Okay, here's a circle here, and let's do another one. Okay, so let's choose this little kitty right here. Actually, this one, I like this one right here. Okay, so having the Marquee tool selected, I'm going to create a perfect circle. Okay, and don't worry the fact that you've gotten the other cat, it's okay. And remember, you can kind of move it around. So Command C, go back in here, make sure I create a new layer, Command V. Okay, and then what I can do is actually move this over here, or kind of eye it a little bit. So this is where the guides come in. You can actually move this guide down. See that guide? From pressing the ruler and bringing it down. Okay, there it is right there. And so now I can use that help to go ahead and create a new circle. There we have it. Alright, and then I can go back and select the other layer here and move this over a little bit. And I can actually use the guide to go ahead and see, there we go. And I'll wait on the third icon to see how that looks. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this time I'm just going to go ahead and create the third layer, and I'm going to now use, I don't know any of these people, so I'm going to go ahead but I'm going to use press and shift. I'm going to select, I guess, Taylor's face. I'm going to copy it. Notice it's still one layer, so I can copy it. I'll go to my layer, selected the new one, and there it is, and she's small. So I'm going to go ahead and press, if I press the move tool, notice that the handles already appear. Press and shift, I'm going to drag her out here. I'm going to drag her to this guide. Voila, there she is. Alright, so why don't you go ahead and stop the video and actually come back, and I'll have it done next time I talk. Alright, so here we are again. So hopefully I've only have 5 images. I guess I didn't need to go out that long. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is go ahead and try to name all the layers. Okay, so which one is this one? Again, you click on the move tool, okay, and you right click over this flower, it's layer 1, obviously. Very good. What do we call this? Yellow flower, I guess, whatever you want to call. And this, when I click on it, notice how the handlebars appear. So I guess that makes it easier too. So I'm going to call this a kitten. If I can somehow double click on there, there we go. This one's obviously Taylor, and this one is the Giants. Yeah. I wonder if, I don't know if I haven't seen the game so far, so who knows. And this one is a puppy. Okay, so now we got that. Alright, so you see that's pretty cool. So what I'd like for you to do now is I'm going to ask that you kind of move things around a little bit. Okay, so let's take the flower, we'll leave the flower over there, but let's take the puppy, use the move tool, okay, and move him over here. Let's take the Giants and move them down to the bottom, which is where they are right now. Okay, and once again I can right click. Notice that excuse me, I can right click, okay, press control right click, and it shows puppy. Now I can move it again. And next thing is let's go to Taylor right there. Right click Taylor, let's put her in the middle, and let's put the kitten across. There we have it. Okay, so the next thing what I'd like you to do, let's go ahead and bring this in a little bit, kind of offer a little padding here. Alright, and let's go ahead and do this. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and add some styles. So let's go ahead and offer a stroke for the flower. So I'm going to go ahead and let's change this color into green. How about green? Green and plants go good. And let's kind of see what we come into play here. Oh, no wonder. I was looking for the flower, but I instead chose the puppy. Let's go click on the yellow flower, and let me go ahead and try now stroking. Here's a stroke. Let's move this down, and you'll see now, again, I'm going to choose green. Okay, there we go. Now notice there's a circle that appears there, and you can make it a little bit bigger. See that? So there we go. Beautiful. Alright, you can make it inside, you can make it outside. Outside looks pretty dope. So let's press OK. Now let's go to kitten. What do you want to do with the kitten? So let's go ahead and highlight it. How about making it into a bevel? Bevel, okay? So bevel meaning looks like kind of like a pin, okay? You just kind of have to watch. There's no really calculated anything to kind of decide what's best. You just kind of have to eye it. There, size kind of there, right about there, kind of looks like a pin that you would wear on your chest. There we go. How about Taylor? Let's do something with Taylor, and let's go ahead and give her a, how about a inner glow? She's got that inner glow, doesn't she? Look at that. So I'm changing her face, opacity. So there, ooh, she's got a red nose there. She's getting a red nose. Let's give her red. Shh. Okay, so, oh, I see what's happening. So, sorry, my son is kind of talking to me. There we go. Let's give her the outer glow. Okay, now, what I'm going to do with, we already did the kitten. Let's go to the Giants. Giants are pretty pathetic, so let's go ahead and let's give it a drop shadow. Appropriate. There we go. So let's go ahead and angle it a little bit. Give it a little bit more opacity. Okay. There we go. The New York Giants. Hopefully they'll I hope that they recruit or draft a new quarterback, especially that dude from Clemson. Alright, now let's go to the puppies. And let's do, well, that's such a cool dog. Let's, oops, I don't know what I just did. Oh, that was inner glow. Inner glow. No, he's got an outer glow. We already gave, so we're going to give it an outer glow. So as you can see, there it is right there. Alright, cool. So that's how you do it. Now the last thing what I'd like for you to do is using the text tool right here. You see the text tool? I'm going to ask you to write the effect right below it. So where there is a flower, like for instance flower, okay, the effect is stroke. So right above it, so when you click on the text tool and you click inside here, type in stroke. Okay, there we have it. You can move it, and again, you can basically control, and these things kind of appear. You can ignore that. These are what is called glyphs. I have no idea. I guess it kind of, see how it kind of messes up the O. So anyways, yeah, that's the wrong spelling. So I'm going to ignore that, and so I'm just going to say stroke again. I don't think I want those things appearing. So you can highlight it. You can go ahead and make it to anything you like. Again, you can scrub the size right there. Okay, let me go deeper. You can scrub it a little bit. There you go. You can choose a different kind of, and I spelled stroke wrong, so it's STR. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and stop this video, and let's go ahead and put a different text. Add text layers. Okay, add the names. Use the names of the effects that you placed. Okay, and of course, each word should have a different format. Okay, so different color, different font, different size. Have at it. Go ahead and stop this video. We'll see you in a second. Alright, so here it is. Here's my work over here. So hopefully you've done, in other words, you were just listening right now. Okay, so unless I specifically said to go ahead and do the work, because there's some things that, for instance, right here with the drop shadow here, okay, I moved it up into the New York right there. But anyways, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Alright, at this point right now, what I'd like you to do is File, Save As, and you can go ahead and save it in the cloud if you like, if you have your own account. And so what I'm going to ask you to do, right now I'm under Unit 9, Cloud Documents, so you should click on Cloud Documents. Okay, and then what I'd like you to do is, up here is a icon over here that tells you to create a new folder. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this and type in Unit 9. I'm sorry, Unit 11. Unit 11. So type in Unit 11, save it, and hopefully, so now you're in the Unit 11. So let's go ahead and save this as I don't know, let's call this circular images. Circular images, that's fine. Good enough for me. And go ahead and save this. We're not done yet though. So you saved it on the cloud, which is awesome. Now we're going to save it on the computer so that you can upload this. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it again. File, Save As. Can't seem to press Save As. File, Save. Something's up with this. And now it'll say on your computer. So go ahead and choose on your computer. Okay, and now you'll see your computer. Again, go to Downloads, go to Photoshop, Unit 11, and it should say Circule. I guess I should say Circular Images. And it should say .psd. Okay, below the format should say Photoshop. Make sure layers are basically used. Press Save. There you have it. Okay, and you should, in your Finder, you should have the circular images along with the 5 other images. So pardon me as I prepare the file for you to upload. Give me a second. Alright, so here we are back at the selection tool. Click on this form here and just fill this up. Okay, put your name and period number and then upload the file, your PSD file here, submit, and that's all you got to do. Okay, easy peasy. Okay, so talk to y'all later.